Okay, so you decide to grow some fruit trees, but you want to make sure that if you're going to put in all that effort and wait and all that time, that you have a delicious tasting fruit. So you go to the store and you purchase your favorite fruit, be it apple or plum or any other fruit, and you take the seeds from the most delicious one and plant it in the ground, and you get this great big tree. And after waiting years and years, it finally grows fruit. You wait until the fruit ripens, and then you taste it, and it tastes nothing like the fruit from which the seed you planted. You've just spent all these years growing this tree, and you realize it grew a completely, totally different fruit than the one you thought you planted. That wasn't the case any time you planted seeds that you got from a vegetable. So, why did your fruit do this? Well, most fruit are what's called not true to type, which means the seeds they produce will not be exactly the same as the fruit they came from. They may have some of the traits, but definitely they will not be exactly the same. It's kind of like humans. When we have a kid, they kind of look like us, but they may be completely different in so many other ways. So, what can you do to fix this? Is that tree completely a waste? Should you chop it down? Well, I'm going to tell you what to do to actually convert your tree into the variety of fruit that you wanted it to be. And I'm going to show you a better way to grow a fruit tree in much less time and getting the exact same fruit you intended to get. Okay, so the most popular way to grow a fruit tree is by getting a cutting, that is, a cutting from the original tree where the fruit came from. So if you're going to grow a Granny Smith apple, then you need a piece of the branch from a Granny Smith apple tree. You can then root that cutting. This is a process of getting roots to develop from the cutting and planting it. You can watch my fig rooting video in the link below to see how I rooted fig cuttings. This procedure can pretty much be repeated for almost any fruit tree. Another fantastic way to grow a fruit tree of the exact same variety that you want is using a method called air layering. This is where you pick a branch that is growing on a tree that has a variety of your choice, and you pretty much put soil around the branch in some sort of a container, which will later develop roots that, again, you can plant, and this will give you a tree in the exact same variety. You can also click the link below to see my air layering video. And finally, the third way to do it, and this is how you'll be able to save that tree that you planted with the bad tasting fruit, is a method called grafting. Grafting is a technique where you would use a cutting, as previously mentioned, from the tree containing the fruit variety you desire and join it to an existing tree that is growing. So the way that I would save that tree is by cutting a branch and bringing what's called a scion, which is a cutting or a small piece of branch from the tree of my choice, and grafting it to this tree, which is called the rootstock. Now, grafting is typically used when you have a tricky environment. For example, way back, they were trying to plant grapevines for winemaking in the Niagara region. They tried planting a delicious French grapevine, but the harsh winters were too hard on the roots and it didn't survive. Then they tried a cold-tolerant variety that is indigenous to the Niagara region, but the grapes it produced weren't very good. So what they ended up doing was using the hardy Niagara region grapevine as a rootstock, which they planted in the ground, but cut it at the top and grafted on the French variety, which produced a delicious grape. Actually, some growers in France did the same thing because the Niagara region rootstock is so hardy and more disease resistant than the French variety. So this is a way for you to convert your existing tree with a bad tasting fruit to a tree that has delicious tasting fruit by simply grafting on a good variety. Actually, commercially, when you purchase many fruit trees, they usually contain a different rootstock that is more disease resistant than what is actually growing on the tree by using the grafting method. This kind of allows you to have the best of both worlds, which are strong, hardy, pest-resistant roots and a fruit that tastes delicious. So stop growing fruit that doesn't taste good and convert your tree either with grafting or purchase a variety from your local nursery that's already grafted for you. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, and leave me any comments if you have any questions.